Our lives are inundated by an incessant deluge of stimuli. From the ever-vibrating cell phones to the ceaseless streams of information on social media, we find ourselves immersed in an overwhelming sea of data and diversions. Overstimulation has come to define our existence. Yet have we truly comprehended the repercussions of this inundation in our lives? Welcome to this channel, where in this video we will embark on a profound exploration of why overstimulation is detrimentally affecting our lives and how we can take steps to regain control. The snare of hyperconnectivity. The primary reason why overstimulation is eroding our lives is our addiction to hyperconnectivity. We currently inhabit an era in which we are perpetually accessible and online, which is leading us into a state of exhaustion. Psychologists have sounded the alarm about the perils of this ceaseless connectivity, cautioning that we're drifting further away from genuine conversations and authentic connections with those around us. What they mean is that, although we are virtually more connected than ever, we are paradoxically becoming increasingly emotionally disconnected. Overstimulation stemming from hyperconnectivity is significantly impacting our mental well-being. The relentless barrage of negative news and incessant social media comparisons contributes to elevated levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Psychologist Sherry Turkle posits that this generation is experiencing profound loneliness due to the absence of real human connections. Hence, the unrelenting pursuit of digital connectivity is undermining our emotional and psychological health. To address this issue, it is imperative to acknowledge the value of disconnection. We must set boundaries in our relationship with technology and learn to cherish genuine human interactions. As philosopher Harry noted, one who becomes a tool of technology becomes its slave. Therefore, the initial step in overcoming overstimulation is recognizing the necessity of periodic disconnection. The torment of constant multitasking. Another reason why overstimulation is corroding our lives is our faith in the myth of efficient multitasking. We believe we can juggle multiple tasks simultaneously, but in reality, this diminishes our productivity and heightens our stress levels. Neuroscientist Earl Miller asserts that the human brain was not designed for multitasking. When we attempt to do so, our productivity declines and our stress levels surge. Constant multitasking also detrimentally impacts the quality of our work. When we disperse our attention among several tasks, we cannot focus adequately on any of them, resulting in errors, a dearth of creativity, and dissatisfaction with our output. Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer conveyed the idea that one who seeks to be everything ends up being nothing. This concept reflects the notion that by trying to accomplish everything at once, we fail to excel at anything. To counteract overstimulation arising from perpetual multitasking, it is crucial to cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness enables us to fully concentrate on one task at a time, thereby enhancing our productivity and job satisfaction. Philosopher Simone Weil observed that attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. Consequently, by devoting our undivided attention to a task, we are being generous both to ourselves and our work. The invasion of advertising and consumerism. Yet another factor contributing to the detriment of our lives through overstimulation is the relentless onslaught of advertising. We find ourselves encircled by advertisements wherever we turn, be it on television, social media, or even as we traverse the streets. Philosopher Jean Baudrillard posited that we reside in a hyper-real society, where the boundary between reality and advertising is increasingly blurred. The unceasing inundation of advertising serves to bolster rampant consumerism, leading us to believe that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the ceaseless acquisition of material possessions. However, this unrelenting pursuit of material wealth often plunges us into debt and leaves us persistently unsatisfied. Philosopher Epicurus conveyed the idea that it is not the affluent person, but the contented individual who experiences happiness. Consequently, it is imperative for us to scrutinize our impulses for consumption and seek fulfillment through meaningful experiences rather than the accumulation of material goods. To combat overstimulation resulting from the relentless barrage of advertising and consumerism, we need to cultivate awareness. We must actively challenge the values imposed upon us by advertising and make deliberate decisions regarding our consumption. As Socrates advocated, an unexamined life is not worth living. Through introspection into our consumption habits, we can discover a more authentic path toward personal contentment. The predicament of infinite choice. Overstimulation also encroaches upon our lives due to the predicament of infinite choice. We inhabit a society where we are inundated with choices in every facet of life, from selecting a product at the supermarket to making decisions about our careers and partners. Psychologist Barry Schwartz contends that while choice is an essential freedom, an excess of options can leave us feeling immobilized and dissatisfied. The phenomenon of analysis paralysis arises when we become so overwhelmed by choices that we find it nearly impossible to reach a definitive decision. This can result in feelings of anxiety and frustration. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre astutely observed that freedom is the heaviest burden of all. In essence, the freedom to choose can be overwhelming. To tackle the predicament of infinite choice, it is paramount to simplify our lives and our decision-making processes. We ought to concentrate on our values and priorities, rather than becoming ensnared in an endless array of options. As the thinker Lao Tzu wisely remarked, simplicity is the key to true elegance. By simplifying our choices, we can attain greater clarity and satisfaction in our lives. The deluge of information. Overstimulation also rears its head in the form of information overload. We are perpetually inundated with news articles, videos, and messages, making it increasingly challenging to discern the pertinent from the superfluous. We coexist in an information-rich, globally connected world, besieged by concurrent streams of data. This inundation of information can be overwhelming and deleterious to our capacity for concentration. Information overload exacts a substantial toll on our attention and focus. When we continually leap from one source of information to another, our thoughts become fragmented, rendering us incapable of delving deeply into any given task. It is crucial to bear in mind that attention is the rarest and most precious faculty of the mind. Consequently, we must safeguard our attention against the deluge of information. To combat overstimulation stemming from information overload, we can embrace the concept of informational minimalism. This involves the active curation of information sources, the imposition of limits on the time allocated to news and social media, and a deliberate prioritization of quality over quantity. In the words of thinker Albert Camus, what is true is what is necessary. In essence, by seeking essential and pertinent information, we can alleviate overstimulation and uncover enhanced mental clarity. Another profound reason why overstimulation is detrimental to our lives lies in the absence of space for reflection. We perpetually find ourselves in a race against time, crowding our moments with activities and stimuli without pausing to contemplate whether these endeavors are truly beneficial for us. Philosopher Blaise Pascal asserted that all the discontent among humanity stems from a singular fact: our inability to sit quietly in solitude. This ceaseless restlessness acts as a barrier to discovering meaning and purpose in our lives. Although loneliness is often perceived negatively, it is in the realms of solitude that we discover the vital expanse for deep reflection. Within these tranquil moments, we can engage in contemplation regarding our values, goals, and priorities. Philosopher Plato eloquently expressed that, in quietness and self-examination, we gain insight into ourselves. Therefore, embracing solitude as a remedy for overstimulation offers an effective avenue to create room for reflection. One approach to attaining this space for reflection is through the practice of meditation. Meditation serves to calm the mind, nurture mindfulness, and carve out internal space for introspection. As philosopher Alan Watts aptly noted, meditation serves as the path to inner understanding. By incorporating meditation into our daily routine, we can liberate ourselves from the clutches of overstimulation and discover inner clarity, diminished appreciation for the present moment. Overstimulation further erodes our capacity to appreciate the present moment. We find ourselves perpetually preoccupied with concerns about the future or immersed in contemplations of the past, leaving us with meager room to simply exist in the here and now. Philosopher Alan Watts cautioned that life is not a journey, but a flow. Our fixation on the future or past eclipses the richness of the present moment. Practicing mindfulness represents a potent means to rekindle our appreciation for the present moment. By anchoring our focus on the here and now, devoid of judgment, we can relish the profound beauty of the moment. Philosopher Thich Nathan emphasized that life is available only in the present moment. Through the adoption of mindfulness, we can unearth joy and serenity in the present moment, serving as a remedy against overstimulation and rekindling appreciation for the present. Curtailment of creativity and innovation. Overstimulation also imposes restrictions on our ability to be creative and innovative. When we are inundated with an incessant deluge of information and diversions, our mental capacity for new ideas and insights is stifled. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche astutely observed that only those who are genuinely free possess the capacity for creativity. Here, freedom pertains to mental liberation from overstimulation. Creativity often blossoms when our minds are in a state of rest conducive to free-ranging thoughts, rather than being singularly focused on specific tasks. Physicist Albert Einstein attributed some of his most brilliant ideas to leisurely walks, emphasizing the necessity of affording the mind time and space to roam freely. To rejuvenate our creativity and innovation, we must nurture mental stillness. This involves moments of disconnection, an allowance for reflection, and an active pursuit of experiences that stimulate our creative faculties. Philosopher John Dewey elucidated that thought is the key to truth. By fostering mental space for creativity, we unlock the doors to novel possibilities in our lives. Erosion of authenticity. Overstimulation places significant pressure on individuals to conform to societal expectations. We are perpetually exposed to idealized depictions of success and happiness, steering us toward paths that are often inauthentic to our true selves. Philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson astutely stated that, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." Unearthing authenticity amidst overstimulation poses a substantial challenge. To reclaim our authenticity, we must embark on a voyage of self-discovery. We must question external pressures and align ourselves with our intrinsic values. Now that we have examined the reasons why overstimulation is eroding the quality of our lives, it is of paramount importance to acknowledge the imperative need for change. Overstimulation cannot be disregarded, for it wields profound implications for our mental health, overall well-being, and the quality of our existence. The initial stride towards recovery entails the cultivation of awareness. It necessitates a keen attentiveness to the telltale signs of overstimulation in our lives, and a conscientious recognition of the moments when we find ourselves overwhelmed. As philosopher Simone de Beauvoir astutely stated, "One cannot live without pain and be indifferent to human suffering." By acknowledging the suffering that overstimulation engenders, we initiate the process of change. Once we have grasped the presence of overstimulation in our lives, it becomes imperative to institute boundaries. We must acquire the skill to assertively decline unnecessary distractions, establish structured schedules for technology usage, and carve out space for disconnection and contemplation. It is pivotal, particularly for the younger generation, to receive guidance on the judicious utilization of technology to enrich their lives while concurrently regulating their exposure to it. A prevalent adage in the world of technology asserts that when the product is free, you become the product. Numerous applications vie for our attention, leaving us with minimal time for the simple act of sitting down and reflecting on our own lives and experiences. Nevertheless, it need not remain this way. You would be amazed by the capabilities of your mind when you permit it to wander momentarily with clarity and intent. I extend my gratitude for your continued viewership. Please remember to show your appreciation by liking this video, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing to the channel. Additionally, I have provided links to 2 videos that might pique your interest. Until our next encounter, take care.